Hey, this is Arjun, and I'm the CEO of Doula.com, a business in a box. Doula is a venture-backed startup that has successfully raised over $13 million from the likes of Y Combinator, HubSpot Ventures, Nexus Venture Partners, Cody Sanchez, Graham Stephan, Sahil Bloom, just to name a few. I promise you by the end of this video, you will know how to set up an LLC in the UK or set up an LLC from the UK. And the way we're going to do this is cover this in a few steps. The first is we're going to run through, can you actually set up an LLC in the UK? We'll then run through the difference between an LLC and an LTD in the UK. I'll then go through the 6 steps to actually setting up an LLC in the UK, and then I'll run through how long it takes to set up an LLC in the UK, as well as how you can actually start your LLC with Doula. If you couldn't tell from that plan, yes, you can start an LLC in the UK from the UK. We're going to dive into how to do that. A limited liability company, or an LLC, is an American business structure that operates similarly to a limited company in the United Kingdom. As a legal entity, an LLC does not exist as a separate structure in the UK, but that doesn't mean that UK citizens can't open an LLC. With the help of a registered agent, such as Doula, you can actually open a US-based LLC and operate your company from the United Kingdom. And there's no need to be a US resident or to relocate to the US, the land of opportunity. What I'm going to do now is actually explore the various steps involved in setting up an LLC and how you actually need a registered agent. We'll explain what that is too. Can I set up an LLC in the UK? UK citizens can own a US-based LLC and operate their business from the UK. So if you're a budding entrepreneur wanting to open a business in the UK, you have a few traditional types of business structures to consider, such as the following. Sole trader. This is easy and simple registration for self-employed business owners. Partnership. 2 or more individuals agreeing to share profits, losses, risks, benefits, and responsibilities for running the organization. Limited liability partnership. This is similar to a partnership, but a partner's liability is limited to their financial investment in the business. Limited company. This is a privately managed business owned by shareholders and run by directors. Unlike the above business options, an LLC offers benefits that contribute to limited liability for business debts. For example, small and medium-sized businesses enjoy the versatile and economic structure of an LLC and how it enables you to bypass certain legal hurdles and corporate tax rules. What is the difference between an LLC and an LTD in the United Kingdom? Of the traditional business structures in the UK, a limited company, or an LTD, is the most similar to an LLC. However, there are nuanced differences that separate the two options. In both instances, an LLC and an LTD protect company directors from personal liability with regard to covering business debts or legal costs. The most significant difference, though, is that an LLC charges lower annual fees, while an LTD offers slightly better security against creditors. The tax structure is another notable difference. An LLC is taxed as the personal income of the owners, while an LTD is taxable as a corporation. Finally, there are no shares of stocks involved in an LLC, while an LTD consists of shareholders that purchase a certain number of shares. In turn, an LLC has fewer compliance requirements versus an LTD. Advantages and disadvantages of an LTD company. The following benefits of an LTD encourage business owners to choose the structure as their chosen option. Some of these benefits overlap with an LLC. An LTD is a credible business structure that gives the impression of official professionalism. Company directors are protected from being held personally liable for any debts that occur or legal costs. In the United Kingdom, an LTD also offers the benefit of lower national insurance contributions, meaning that business owners can keep more of their earnings to reinvest in the company. On the flip side, there are a few considerations for registering an LTD company, such as the following. The cost of maintaining an LTD can be expensive. The national insurance contributions that are required for hiring employees and subcontractors involve higher costs. That's just the name of the game. Limited companies must also file annual financial statements with Companies House, a time-consuming and costly process. An LLC actually overcomes some of these challenges, making an LLC a more viable option than an LTD. For example, there is less paperwork and there is less bookkeeping associated with running an LLC, although there is some. And that overall makes it a more cost-effective option versus the LTD. Advantages and disadvantages of an LLC. An LLC combines the advantages of a corporation and a partnership, making it a popular option for business owners. Easy and quick to set up, an LLC offers the following advantages. Tax flexibility is available through pass-through taxation. And what that means in English is the LLC's profits and losses actually pass through each member's individual tax return. The personal liability protection means that an owner's personal financial assets are not at risk in the instance of debt. Quick, easy, and inexpensive to form with limited paperwork, that's an LLC. Management flexibility is LLCs choose between member managed and manager managed. You can also boost the credibility of your business. While these benefits are enough to convince you, it is important to keep the following in mind. An LLC costs more to form than a sole proprietorship. Ownership in an LLC can be more difficult to transfer. Hey, before we head into the next half of the video, I want to quickly show you how you can get started with your business. Starting a business involves a lot of moving parts, but wouldn't it be helpful to have a trusted guide by your side? That's where Doula comes in. We make sure your business formation is smooth, accurate, and sets you up for success. Whether you need help with paperwork, setting up your LLC or C Corp, opening a US bank account, or navigating tax and compliance, we are here to take care of it all, so you can focus on growing your business while Doula handles the rest. You can head over to doula.com and get started with our starter plan, which includes formation filings, an EIN, an operating agreement, a registered agent, a mailing address, and full access to our community where you can connect with other entrepreneurs from all over the world. We know this can be a scary process, so if you have any questions, you can book a free one-on-one consultation with one of our doula experts. We want to help you feel 100% confident getting your business off the ground. All right, that's it for me. Let's get back to the video. Next up, let's run through the 6 steps to setting up an LLC in the UK, from the UK. So whether you want to establish your own accounting firm, open up a neighborhood cafe, or offer services as a pool construction specialist, you need to follow the same 6 steps to actually form a US LLC while living in the United Kingdom. Step 1, choose a name for your LLC. The first step involves choosing a company name for your LLC, which is going to appear on all of your official formation documents. Now, let the creative juices start to flow here, but you also need to be a bit strategic. As a guideline, you can keep the following tips in mind. Include limited liability company or LLC in the name. You can drop the extension in the trading name by registering what's called a DBA or a doing business as. Incorporate words that are relevant to your offerings, but avoid using words related to state agencies. Your name might get restricted then. Ensure that you also don't claim restricted titles such as bank in your name without meeting the correct criteria and filling out the appropriate paperwork. Again, your name can get rejected if you do that. Also, take readability into account, especially if you're using another language in your name. Be careful of including creative misspellings, and consider your business name acronym if relevant. Once you've decided on your business name, you'll then need to take the necessary steps to claim the name. For example, look for business names on the Secretary of State's website, and you can confirm that the domain name is available, and check the name also with the US Trademark Electronic Search System. This is so that you don't go through the work of picking your name and realize the social media handles are taken, the website's taken, and there's a trademark. That would be a bummer. Finally, you can actually search for businesses with similar names that could cause confusion down the line. Step 2, form your company with a registered agent. A registered agent plays a key role in setting up your LLC. Just as the UK's Company House stipulates requirements for UK businesses to be legally valid, the Secretary of State requires that all LLCs have a registered agent. Now, a registered agent acts as a local representative in the United States and provides a physical address within the state of the LLC's formation. It's possible to choose a family member or a friend as your registered agent when starting your company, but it can put a lot of strain on your relationship. For example, the registered agent must be available 5 days a week, and you must make your contact information publicly available. And for that, we don't recommend that you do it. Professional RAs like Doula actually streamline the process and removes the hassle of needing to ask for a favor. Plus, as a bonus, Doula is actually experienced in the different aspects of forming an LLC, and we've served as a registered agent for tens of thousands of customers. Step 3, get a physical mailing address or a virtual address in the US. When you go through the incorporation process, it's actually necessary to have a physical mailing address in the US in order to receive correspondence from government or state agencies, such as legal summons, tax notices, and lawsuits. Here's the good news. By using a registered agent, you actually get that physical address. You get their physical address. It's also important to establish a virtual mailing US address for regular mail. If you're strategic when choosing your registered agent partner, you can actually reduce the hassle by asking them to provide that virtual mailing address. The good news is at Doula, we're actually happy to provide that virtual address for all LLCs we work with. So you get the benefits of having that physical address through the RA and that virtual solution too. Step 4, get your EIN. An employer identification number, also known as a federal tax identification number, is used when fulfilling business tax requirements with the IRS, that's known as the Internal Revenue Service. There are certain instances when an EIN is required, such as the following. And you can think of an EIN as the social security number for your business. That's the best way I like to think about it. If you have hired an employee or plan to hire an employee, then you actually need to have an EIN. If you plan to open a small business checking account, then an EIN is required to actually meet the banking requirements. So I'll say that again, you need an EIN to open up a US business bank account. If you apply for loans and want to build credit, then again, an EIN is a requirement. If you create accounts with Fulfilled by Amazon, PayPal, US Stripe, or another payment platform in the US, again, you're going to need an EIN. A registered agent partner such as Doula can actually take charge of the EIN process on your behalf. And in addition to being a registered agent, we can actually help you get the EIN. Now, you can apply for an EIN on your own by following a few steps. But again, you can also use a company like Doula to help you do this. Before registering for an EIN, you actually need the state to approve your LLC to ensure that you have the correct business name and details. Next, to get your EIN, you're going to have to fill out the application for your EIN, which must be delivered in a hard copy fashion if you live outside the US. So the way you can actually do this is you can send it by mail, which takes weeks if not months, or you can fax it. Now, unfortunately, for non-US founders, you actually have to fax Form SS4. You cannot apply online. Form SS4 stands for Application for EIN. So the bummer here is that for folks living in the UK, you're going to have to fax this form. Doula can help do this, or you can do it on your own. I wouldn't recommend mail. It takes too long. And then you're going to have to wait. Again, Doula can actually help you get this even if you live outside the US. Normally, a US Social Security number is needed, but getting your EIN without an SSN is absolutely possible by filling out Form SS4. So I'll say that again. You do not need a US Social Security number to get an EIN, but if you have a Social Security number, you can actually get it faster. Again, this completed form must be sent via fax or mail. I strongly recommend fax for non-US founders as it is a little bit faster. When filling out the form, your US address must be included on lines 4A and Form B of Form SS4. And including these details will actually reduce the waiting period for your application, and it'll make other processes more streamlined. Once it's done, the EIN confirmation letter is going to be sent to the address on the form. So you should definitely make sure you choose a very reliable mailing address in the US to have that confirmation forwarded to you in the UK. For folks who work with Doula, they put down their registered agent address. Doula then gets that mail from the IRS. We scan it, we upload it, and we send it to you. And you have your number, you have your EIN confirmation letter, you can proceed to opening your bank account. Here's another top tip. I also recommend that you attach the LLC's certificate of formation once approved to the EIN. That just keeps things consolidated, keeps them together. Applying for a US business bank account. Even though you live in the UK, you actually should have a US bank account to manage the funds of your business in dollars. As a non-US resident, you have limited option when it comes to opening a bank account, and that's where a professional company like Doula can actually help again. We've sourced and have partners that can actually help founders outside the US open a US business bank account remotely without flying to the US. Our banking partners also can help with taxes, bookkeeping, and making it easier to actually navigate the financial side of the business from abroad. Doula has bookkeeping and tax solutions that integrate and work very well with US banks, so everything's in one place. We try to be this business in a box. Step 6, set up your payment processors. A payment processor is a system that allows businesses to operate financial transactions. These transactions are handled through various means, such as credit cards, debit cards, and bank accounts. It is important to do your research and choose the best payment processor for your business. And at the same time, you should keep in mind that you're operating from the other side of the world. Once you have established your EIN and virtual address, you can then choose from a selection of effective payment processors, such as Stripe and PayPal. I recommend Stripe. Stripe doesn't require a US Social Security number or a taxpayer identification number like an ITIN. That's a wrap. I hope you're ready at this point to turn that dream idea into your dream business. And if you have any questions at this point, Doula can help you get started right away. It's a fully self-serve flow, or you can head to our website and schedule a free consultation. We hope you work with us. If you have any other questions, comment down below, and we can't wait to see you in the process soon.